Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. The end of the week, as we close in the weekend, at least here in the UK on Sunday. It's ruddy gusty over here. First thing I'm going to do actually is put the Meta and Heathrow in the live chat because I'm curious to see what the weather is over at London Heathrow today in real life. Zato, yo, it's ATR time. Absolutely, it's fixed. Hurrah! It's been a long old time, hasn't it? And Dusty, welcome. MPS Gaming, hello to you. Martin, good afternoon. Badger, welcome. Ian, good evening as well to you. Thanks for joining us. I hope you're well. Hopefully not too hungover from yesterday. Rob, good afternoon. And Ian, welcome, buddy. Hope you're well. Today, we've got two little regional hops. We're going to explore two airports created by Orbx, brand new, on the east coast of Australia, nestled around Brisbane, and we're back in the ATR72-600 for the first time in a long time as well, because we're going to be heading out of Gold Coast, which is where we are at the moment, for a little flight up north to Gladstone, which those of you in the UK, it always reminds me of that advert. Is it do Gladstone Brooks? I don't know why, but it does. It was in my head all day yesterday, so I had to share it. Doc, welcome, good evening. Ian, nice one, Hamilton Island. We were going to be doing that actually, but both of these ended up in my Orbx account, and I thought, you know what, let's do a double whammy and let's go and explore these. So I'll be sharing my thoughts. I'm curious to hear yours in the live chat too, and if you're new to the channel, hit like and subscribe down below. Both airports, Gold Coast and Gladstone, both created by Orbx, two regional airports. I'm not sure of the price actually, to be honest, but I think they are both out now and they are available via the link that's in the description for today's live stream if you did want to purchase them. There's a bit of a kind of a seamless blend, I'd say, between the detailed section and the bits that have got the photogrammetry, which, I mean, the car park looks pretty hideous, doesn't it? I would probably have liked to have seen them at least do the car park and these big buildings, the office blocks, perhaps, like that there. I think I would have liked to have seen them do that, at least up to the highway here. And then have that as a kind of a zone that goes back into the photogrammetry area, to be honest. Because, yeah, there are a couple of key buildings, I think, like this one, which probably would look quite cool if it was an actual handcrafted building, but it's just that kind of photogrammetry, that Bing photogrammetry type thing. The rest of it though looks quite nicely detailed if we turn our attention to the areas that have been done. Mike, welcome, saying that Gold Coast is about 12 quid, so not too bad. Although don't forget, I always think back to Mako Simulations Manchester Airport, which was $9.99, which is pretty crazy. You can go through that, which is pretty dooley. And the car park itself looks pretty good. I mean, a lot of these vehicles aren't visible from on top of the canopy, but it's nice to see they've actually put that detail in there anyway. Oh, there's a Kia Soul. What an awful car. So it's nice to see they've put some detail in here. How you doing, Doc? KVW Chris, they have indeed, haven't they? I'm curious to see what it looks like, but it's always hard to work out, isn't it, sometimes, the comparisons between the two. We're going to spend maybe about 15 minutes mooching around here to kind of explore what this scenery has to offer. If it's £12, is that with or without tax, Mike? I'm not sure. But I always find that a lot of these sceneries, certainly around Australia, have this kind of allure attached to them, where I feel like the more I fly in this region in the world, the more I actually end up wanting to come and live here, which is a terribly expensive way to fly sim, isn't it? It means that I've got to basically not fly around Australia, because I think in about 5 years at this rate I'll be moving if it if it draws me in more. Should we go over there? Or should we do the main terminal? Let's tackle the corner first and then we'll work back, because there's a control tower to go and see as well. So these car parks have been done. They've done the perimeter fencing here as well, as you guys can see, and some of this kind of cargo area on the ramp. Jet center. That METAR load in. There we go. It says 210 at 15, gusting 26 at Heathrow. Pretty sure it's worse where I am at the moment, because I can hear my gate banging away and it's locked. But the wind is still managing to wiggle it somehow and bang it about. Right, yeah, so about 15 quid then, roughly, isn't it? You're saying there Gladstone's about 12 quid excluding tax. Airways Aviation, Pilot Training Centre there as well. What have we got here? We'll have a look at night time as well to see what the nighttime lighting is like too. So this bit here is a bit more of a general aviation kind of part of the apron. It's got some nice apron textures actually. And nice to see a little bit of clutter as well. Just the right amount, isn't it? There's not too much. Just a little smidge. A couple of statics dotted around there. Sierra, the Great Barrier Reef, which looks pretty good. And then we've got some hangars. Oh, something over on the left. I'm not sure if that's going to be AI or not. Nighthawk says if you're using some freeware Gold Coast scenery, yeah, there's a couple of freeware ones on flightsim.to. Nighthawk says there that the parking have got pits that you can't get your aircraft out of. Whoops. Not good. Avoid engine run-ups in this area. So there's some nice detail here, isn't there? A little tratter. Nice to see. That reminds me, it gives me Denim vibes almost, with the little fire truck that's there. That's a nice little touch. Albeit not really anything you're going to notice or see. But yeah, and we've got this hard border, haven't we? This fence line, and then photogrammetry again. But the grass textures and stuff around the edge of the runway here, and the kind of gravel effect that we've got, they look really good. That looks very, very good. Is that a river? I think it might be. We're just hovering over at the moment. And in the distance, this is what makes this quite nice as well. Look at the Brisbane CBD. We've got the Orbx Brisbane landmarks pack installed, and their Brisbane airport as well. And that's only over there. We'll be flying over it today with a very low cruising altitude, so I'm hoping for some nice scenery. But yeah, beautiful views and a nice little regional hub, isn't it? We've got animated wigwags, runway guard lights. Darren, welcome. What do we got here? Yeah, some good little details here, look. Got like a baked asphalt. And that looks like it is a custom building. Got runway marker edge light boards here as well. Yudi, welcome. Captain Alice, howdy. Yeah, kind of like a wider mark of the runway there, which is quite interesting. What do we got here? Okay, well it's a photogrammetry kind of building, but it's actually got colours and textures and stuff on it, which is interesting. Yeah, from a distance that looked like it was a an actual handcrafted building there, which is nice. But I mean, that's the airport from a wider point of view. If we just change the time here to what are we, 16:08. To a night time, we can see blue taxiway lights, a little bit of apron lighting and hangarage lighting as well. And we'll have a go and we'll go and explore the terminal. What will be 13:09? I'll do 17:09 to keep it matched roughly to live time. There's the touchdown zone. Are they the Pappies? Crikey. They are the Pappies. Wow. So, there is a tiny little runway here. It's 1735. I love the fact there's a little river going through this airport. That's really nice. So there's the hold point. There's one on the other side as well. And 1735 is just here. So you taxi up. And you make your way. And look how tiny that little runway is. Be quite an interesting approach over the trees there as well. Very narrow for those smaller jets, and here's a little VOR that I've just noticed as well. Both of these airports I've not actually explored, so we're looking at this for the first time, as you are, as I am. Nice little VOR. And then they've done, actually done a handcrafted road there, look, sweeping all the way through the trees. With, is that a bridge? Interesting. Let's investigate. It's like an AI, or a low LOD one anyway. That's pretty cool though. Nice to see. Oh, look, it goes right into the edge of the runway. That's pretty swish. Look at that. Pretty cool little airport this, isn't it? Gold Coast Airport. Would never have known it had existed personally myself until they've released the scenery for it. But yeah, that view's fantastic, isn't it? With the central business district off in the background, and that brook that's navigating its way all the way through the airport, look. Working its way down, a couple of little bridges and things. It must then come out here somewhere. There it is. And yeah, there's a big old water area there, look, as well. A little water course running around the edge of the airport and then through the airport, which is wild. Right, let's look at the terminal. Birdman, what do you mean, buddy? I'm on VATSIM. Apron textures look pretty good. And what we'll do is we'll start our approach in the landside area and we'll work through... Oh, cars on the road. Well, I'm not sure what they're set to be honest. Ordinarily, we would see some. This hotel looks pretty dapper, doesn't it? I'm just going to navigate to the other side of this hotel and then we'll change the light, the time of day, to see what the airport looks like from about here. 1731.
Gold Coast traffic, this is Mustang 5184. General Aviation Air will be making a short taxi test all the way down to runway 32.
Creamy meat sorbet. Got a couple of people dotted about. $17.14 will do us. So a little bit of an interior by the looks of it as well. Let's drop on in. Through the glass. Basic interior, isn't it? Nothing mega. Quite low resolution textures and bits within on the boards. Although the departures wording looks really good. And then the outside, nice little palm trees and stuff dotted around too. But United, welcome. The main area though, the domestic arrivals and departures lounge areas. Again, nice detail here. We read this? Almost. Realistically, we don't need to though in Flight Sim, do we? Poke in. So there's just vast nothingness there. Possibly the same with the departures area. We'll just jump on in. In fact, yeah, nothing all the way down. Saves us looking too much, doesn't it? I mean, that looks to be it, really. Some of it's quite average looking, isn't it? I guess the difficulty for this airport is the fact that Brisbane is so close, and if you've got the Orbx landmarks and the Orbx International Airport installed, they're heavy on the systems anyway. So this then is a bit of a balance of people with this, you know, a system that may otherwise struggle. But that in itself, from kind of a way out looking in, looks really nice, doesn't it? To be fair, I don't often go through the terminals. We like to venture through just out of kind of a professional curiosity, I guess you could say. But not what's the word? Not deal breakers, that's for sure. There we are. We've got no GSX profile for today for this airport, but we have one for Gladstone, interestingly enough. So we'll be using that on the other side. But otherwise, the passengers would just walk in. Ian says it's quite accurate. To be fair, it's not a very detailed airport in real life either. I suppose it's just designed to serve a purpose, isn't it? As a little regional hub. And to be fair, in the UK, quite a few regional airports here are quite bland looking, aren't they? In real life. It looks like a bit of an interior here, but it might be one of those snazzy special textures. But there's something. There we go. They've done a little something inside. Oh yeah, Gold Coast never is. This is definitely not a hub airport, Napoli. This is just like a regional base. But I think if it's about 15 quid and it gives you the opportunity to go and explore parts of Australia, I think it's not actually too bad, to be fair. It's a big tourist airport. Ian's saying there mainly traffic to the Gold Coast area, like theme parks and the main beach area, which is only over there. Little stone's throw away. I think it's a cool little scenery, this, to be fair. And here we are in our special Anzac inspired Osprey regional ATR72-600. Now I've got to try and remember the drone camera settings for the ATR because it's been months. It might be that. I think the main areas they've got right, the apron textures and all the rest of it, I think looks pretty good, doesn't it? The fact that they've modelled the parking stands in the apron really nicely, and they've got that brook running through, looks stunning. You know what we haven't seen just before we mooch over? 3 and 10, wasn't it? We'll whack it up to 8. Not seeing the middle, including the control tower here. We've got fuel farm there, looking really nicely detailed. I think for the price, this is actually quite a reasonable airport, to be fair. The apron and the airside areas look really nice, don't they? Look at that. Certainly in 4K on my screen, it's completely popping. Napoli says it's the Florida of Australia. Interesting. Mikhail, welcome, buddy. Let's dive on into the tower, because it looks like there's some folks sat in there with a headset. Doing work stuff. Glass textures are nice. Quite a cool one on VATSIM to control, wouldn't it? You'd be getting some regional hops and things. Yeah, I think they've actually done an alright job here. It's average interiors, but again, like some of you guys are saying in the live chat, and as I've said before a few times, that's not a deal breaker, because if the system can't cope with all of the stuff around, including the vicinity, which has Brisbane, let's face it, quite a heavy area for the sim anyway. Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? Right, shall we dive in and have a little chat about our flight today, folks, to Gladstone? Let's have a little look. I do love that livery. It's been too long.
Traffic was by Fahrenheit at
So we've already loaded in our flight plan and all the rest of it. So that looks like this. Osprey 165 from Gold Coast to Gladstone. We're going to depart runway 32, I think it is, not 14. And then we're going to fly a vectored departure to Scott, Quebec 41 Airway to Tide, Quebec 295 to Goodso, then the 67 to Loafer into Gladstone. It's only about an hour and a half and all that sort of stuff. Flight time, you can see here taxi fuel, it won't be that much. It's a very efficient aeroplane this, and you can see we've got 60 on board, bit of cargo, 1.1 tons. And our fuel and everything's loaded like so, giving us a payload and a gross weight of 22 tons, or just over 22 tons. And with that, a V1 at 112 knots, rotate 112, V2 at 115. Now, interestingly, this, we've got to remember, it's very easy to tail strike this. MPS Gaming's on the pushback already. Do love that retro jet on the 737-600. We've still got a bit to do, though. He's going to be so far ahead of us by the time he arrives. We don't want secondary, we want VNAV, isn't it, I think. God, I'm trying to remember how to fly this thing now. Right, hold on, let me start from FMS1 in it. That's done. And then weights. We want our FinRes plus alternate fuel. We'll pop that in to make sure that's accurate, and it's 1250 because it'll be a flight back to Brisbane for a divert. And then the Perth init page. So cruising altitude. What is our cruise today? 12,000 feet. Love it. Okay, VNAV. So let's look at the charts. We can work out our flight for today. I've done the position in it a bit. Nighthawk. Charts. There we go. So Gold Coast 6, which is a radar departure. First time doing that in the ATR. Ceiling for this is only about 20 or so thousand feet. I can't remember off the top of my head now. It's been so long since we flew this. But we're only going to be flying barely over the transition altitude of 10,000 feet. But it will give us the opportunity to fly low and slow over the coast, which would be quite nice. But anyway, flying heading 319 for departure, up to 2 miles from the Gold Coast VOR, 112.3. And then from then we turn to a assigned heading or track. So it looks quite complicated, but actually not. Non-jets for the southbound, not before 1 DME, but that's for the southbound. We're not worried about that. We're heading north, so 2 DME for this, which is there. Runway 32, track 319 at or above 600 feet, but not later than 2 DME. Turn to assigned heading or track. When directed, contact Brisbane Approach for radar vectors. Brisbane Approach are actually online. Oof. So does that mean we need to contact them now? Interesting. But our route today should be a beautiful one. Routing out over the water to waypoint Scott, and then we're going to be heading up the coastline past Sunshine Coast. Brisbane Airport's here, so we'll have Brisbane and the Central Business District to our left hand side as we head out over the water, routing up past the Sunshine Coast, back inland past Bundaberg, and as we get to Bundaberg we'll reach waypoint Loafer. For that we'll begin our descent into Gladstone direct. So initially we'll fly a bit of a downwind leg up to GLZ Whiskey Alpha into Mudan, and then the RMP 10 approach, which this doesn't really do, so we'll just have to see how we go. It might just be a visual approach by the time we get there. There should be quite a nice one. Is it in Brisbane's airspace? I believe it is. You can kind of see the airspace zoning there. Oop, maybe not so much. Brisbane approach is definitely amalgamated into Gold Coast, by the looks of it. Although what I will do... Oh, hold on, we've got Gold Coast Tower online. And an ATIS. How exciting. So, VATSIM ATIS, YBCG. I love when I'm at airports that are totally unfamiliar to me. So expect issue approach 32, wind 340 at 8, weather Cav OK, temperature 27, QNH 1007. Just hit the B because I'm lazy. And Alt select, we might as well set straight up to... We'll set 5 for now. It does make it a lot easier, Mark, yeah. 118.7. And it's ATIS Alpha. Obviously it's night time in Gold Coast at the moment in real life, but we've wound the time back so we can see all of this. Before we chat away to him, what we're going to do is start hotel mode.
Tower, Osprey Fahrenheit.
Osprey 598, Gold Coast Tower, go ahead.
Request I for to Gladstone, QNH 1007.
So we're not getting the ready indication there, so I remember I think we have to press hydraulics, then it goes ready green, and then we can do prop brake.
5908, Gold Coast Tower, cleared to destination by Scott Flight Plan Route, runway 3 to Gold Coast 6 departure. Cloud at 6000, squawk 3737, and departures is on 124.7.
Please can you repeat the squawk code?
Osprey 5908, squawk 437.
So well out in feather, you can see the ITT rising and NH.
Osprey Fahrenheit clear.
Hotel mode's working.
To Gladstone, squawk code 4372. Osprey Fahrenheit.
Osprey 598, confirm the Gold Coast 6 departure for runway 3.
We shall get rid of the doors, close all of those. We'll leave the ground power connected for now. Let's pop that off, and that's all good. Put the wing light on now, and the seatbelt signs. Wing light indicates hotel mode's on. Should have done that before the start, really. And we'll go for probes on as well. Let's get our clearance.
Osprey 598.
Ten Tower, hello,
Oh, maybe
good
not.
evening, Osprey 5386, ATR72 extend 1, information
Oh well,
Alpha
we know what the
requesting
departure's going to be, so we'll
to
select
Gladstone.
the correct one here now anyway, CG6,
Osprey 5380,
which is in intentional discontinuity there.
To Gladstone via the Scott Flight Plan Route, runway 3 to Gold Coast 6 departure.
Although interestingly,
Cloud at 6000, squawk
waypoint Scott has disappeared.
Departures on 124.7.
Yeah, okay, we are clear to Gladstone via the Gold Coast 6 departure, runway 32, flight plan route. Climb initially to
Not
6000 via the SID, squawk 3762, and departures in 24.7 for Osprey 5386.
20.
Osprey 53.
Idras, yeah, how weird. Look, Scott's just deleted itself. So we can go into here, I think, and add Scott. Which should be south, because we are south about 27, 28 degrees. And then to Idras.
Gold Coast Tower, Osprey.
It's messed up the discontinuity there, so I'll delete that because the discontinuity really needs to be there at manual. But we can delete it because manual is there anyway, so it kind of works. That'll do us.
Yankee, Gold Coast Tower, g'day, you cleared to get to Gladstone via the Scott Flight Plan Route, runway 32, Gold Coast 6 departure. Climb at 6000, squawk 3202, and departures on 124.4. Correction 124.7.
YGLA. QNH 1008 for the arrival.
Clear to Gladstone via the CG6 departure. Initial climb 6,000 feet.
Which will be in the performance tab. It always gets me.
Decimal 7, Osprey 0 Yankee.
Osprey 08 Yankee. Just confirm climb by 6,000 and confirm that departure for me one last time.
Yep, I confirm obviously initial climb 6,000 feet and departing via the...
And wind
Charlie
109.
Departure to Scott.
Osprey 80 Yankee.
Chuffing thing.
There must be finally ready to taxi back to the apron.
There we go.
Wings 5184, roger, still need to use squad by Charlie, but you can taxi Charlie Delta to the bay today.
Charlie Delta to the bay, must be 5184.
Gold Coast Tower, good evening, Osprey 165, ATR72-600 at stand 4 with Alpha, request clearance to Gladstone.
Osprey 165, Gold Coast Tower, g'day, you're clear to Gladstone via the Scott Flight Plan Route, runway 32, Gold Coast 6 departure. Climb at 6000, squawk 4711, departures 124.7.
Cleared to Gladstone, flight plan Scott route, Gold Coast 6 departure, runway 32, initial climb 6000, squawk 4711, and departures on 124.7, Osprey 165.
Osprey 165.
Jolly good. Right, transponder's in here, isn't it? So we've got to go surveillance.
Tower Osprey 598, request.
There's the button, 4711.
Wings 5184, you've entered the runway there. It's fine, there's no other traffic, just taxi on runway 32, then Delta to Baghdad.
Waterfall 7.
Must be 584, my apologies. Can we take hotel and Charlie?
And the VOR, we could tune that in as well. We've got 1123.
Wings 5184, yeah, that looks works better. Taxi hotel on. Taxi 32, hotel.
We'll set that, and we've got an ADF of 278.
Charlie Hotel.
Just for a backup.
584.
We'll pop that on as well.
3598, taxi Alpha, Charlie, hold short of Golf.
Taxi Alpha.
Right, I feel like I'm
Charlie,
missing something in this. Initial climb 6.
Golf.
Runway heading is 319. Make sure that's set.
Gold Coast Tower, Osprey 08 Yankee, request push and start from stand 5.
And then auto. Barrow sets, that's all off, that's all done.
Yankee, push approved.
Push approved.
Overhead panel looks good.
Broadcast Tower, very good evening, Osprey 2472.
Put the beacon on.
ATR72-600 on stand 30 with information Alpha on board, requesting IFR to Gladstone today, please.
We'll get rid of external power.
Osprey 2472, Gold Coast Tower, g'day.
Chocks and ground power are removed.
Runway 32, Gold Coast 6 departure. Climb by 6000, squawk 7210, and departures on 124.7. Cleared flight route via Scott, departure Gold Coast 6, initial altitude 6,000 feet, squawking 7210, and contact departures 124.7 for Osprey 2472. Osprey 2472.
Let's get pushback ready.
You need to start the engines to request ground services.
Or set wheel chocks if in ground mode.
Osprey 5386 at stand 1, requesting push and start.
Neck.
Osprey 53.
Perfect pushback and departure.
Push approved,
We
Osprey
use Swissport.
5386.
Don't know who else we'd use here. That said Woodsy's there.
Charlie. Alpha to the Charlie holding point, runway 32.
Which I assume is Menzies. Right, let's get the live chat back up, have a little look. Ian's trying to judge when to leave Hamilton Island, so I'm in the area at a similar time but not in the way. OP says, will you do an ATR Belfast City into Newcastle return flight so I can learn and follow along? Yeah, I feel like Woodsy's is the Australian Menzies, so that probably would have been the better option, but oh well. Pump 1 on as well, we'll run both of those, get the pumps online. Overhead panel looks good except for the faults. We expect some to be there.
Departure checks completed.
Let's get rid of the music. And I'll use start A for now.
Also Fahrenheit, a little problem with GSX module for pushback, but I'm running now.
He's off.
Osprey 598, Roger. I've made a mistake, so this is the first time I'm trying to go. Taxi left onto Charlie. Taxi Charlie holding point from my tree to left.
Yeah, flight directors are on. Alrighty, pushback's ready. Now the chocks are removed. Tower Osprey 165, request push start stand 4.
Station calling for push, say again.
It's Osprey 165.
Osprey 165, push brief.
Push brief, thanks, Osprey 165.
Mustang 514, negative Yankee, requesting ATC
interesting, I can't seem to move that with my...
before coming in for DVOR Yankee Bush runway.
That's weird, the drone camera's changed, that's really frustrating though. So we want nose... Right.
Other station calling for taxi, say confident only.
Release parking brakes, please.
Osprey 8 Yankee,
Commencing push.
Okay, let's see if we can get this started up, see if we can remember everything
What are you doing?
with this 737 that's in our way.
Taxi, so I have to turn back to Echo.
So we'll return, we'll basically rotate prop 1. For that we need to...
Osprey 165, cancel the push, hold position.
I'll give it a go, yeah, Osprey 165. Port pushback.
Alright, Osprey 598, there's been a slight miscommunication here. Just hold your position, we'll get you out shortly. I meant taxi left of Charlie, but that's alright.
Hold position, Osprey 598.
Well, I've aborted pushback now.
You need to start the engines to request
That's
ground
really...
services.
I was gonna swear then. That's really buggered it. Let's mash that a few times, prop brake off.
Mustang 5184, you...
We've got part brake on, let's set that. Be a good idea, wouldn't it?
Mustang 5184, clearance available, advice ready to copy.
Mustang 5184, go.
Mustang 5184, you
Don't know who that is, but I've hidden them.
Last trailing airspace.
They're in the way.
6000, squawk 4763.
At least try and move. Right.
Get into the class Charlie, not above 6000.
That's all done, prop brakes off.
763, Mustang 5184.
Look how silent this aircraft is.
Mustang 5184, thanks. Taxi Golf Charlie, holding point, true to.
We'll start 1. We're going to have to go old school ATR here and use reverse thrust for pushback, I think.
Mustang 5184, can we get the Gold Coast 6 departure out of runway 32?
Mustang 5184, firm, that's the Gold Coast 6 departure. And departure is on 124.7.
Roger, Gold Coast 6 departure,
Run to feather.
Airport, Mustang 5184.
There's our first screenshot of the day.
And what's their station calling for taxi early?
There's an Osprey 8 Yankee requesting taxi.
Osprey 808 Yankee, thank you for your patience there. Taxi.
Loads of ATRs today.
Charlie,
We've got 2 over there. We've got 1 over there. We've got MPS in the 737.
Echo Lima Charlie.
We've got an A320neo over there. And then we've got behind us another little ATR over behind us there. A wicked little fly along today for Sunday.
In Gold Coast Tower, Osprey 2472 is ready for push and start, stand 30.
Peter Bassi in Africa, welcome.
Osprey 2472, roger, hold position. Uniform push.
Hold position, Osprey 2472.
Osprey 598, follow the company ATR in front, taxi Echo Lima Charlie holding point 32.
So we should get pushed back now.
Follow company.
We'll have to do power back.
Echo Lima, Charlie, hold point 32.
Osprey 165, give way to the company 737 behind once he's clear, push approved.
Give way to company behind and when clear, push approved, Osprey 165. It'll be a power back if that's okay.
No worries.
That's done, that's all good, that's all set.
And Osprey
Engine's good.
5386, ready for taxi.
Make sure that's back on the nav display.
386, roger, taxi Alpha Echo Lima Charlie holding point 32.
Alpha Echo Lima Charlie runway.
Oh, he's out the way already.
Osprey
Right.
5386.
I have absolutely no idea how this is going to go.
It's Alpha Charlie holding point runway 32.
So, park brakes off.
Alpha Charlie and holding point 2, so Osprey 5386.
Osprey 2472, give way to the company ATR behind once he's clear, push approved.
Once company traffic is passed, push approved, Osprey 2472, cheers.
Trying to do this without smacking the nose. I'm just kind of riding the brakes a little bit. Just to try and keep the speed low. Pro pilot. Okay, so now we can extend flaps. You might notice one of the things with this is when you're on the ground, cold and dark, you'll try and extend the flaps, and you'll notice then it will start vibrating loads and it will keep resetting.
Delta is now current. Changes. Taxiway Kilo is now unavailable.
To 0, and that's because
Osprey 80,
you don't have any hydraulics.
Go ahead.
Osprey 80 Yankee. You've taken the Kilo holding point for runway 32. Not a problem though. Advise when ready for departure.
Roger, will do. Was there a holding point before?
The holding point was Charlie.
It might not have the right scenery.
Must 24, can we take the first right intersection Foxtrot departure?
So that's all good.
Crosswings 184 Rog. Negative. Yeah, we can give you Delta though. Taxi Delta holding point 32.
Roger, we clear Delta, runway 32, Mustang 5184.
That's all good. Osprey 165, request taxi.
Delta, requesting
Ah,
to Gladstone.
that's on someone.
2 stations at once there. Station codes for clearance, standby. The station calling.
Okay, so Osprey 80 Yankee is ready for departure.
Osprey 8080 Yankee assigned heading 360 degrees, climb unrestricted. Runway 32, clear for takeoff.
Heading 360, climb unrestricted, clear for takeoff, Osprey 80 Yankee.
Taxi lights. Osprey 165, request taxi.
Osprey 165, roger, taxi, Echo, Delta, Charlie, holding point 32.
Taxi, Echo, Delta, Charlie, hold point 32, Osprey 165. So I had to get both of those feathered because of the, the power back that we needed to do, which is fine. What we need to basically do is, well, we could either just ride the brakes and keep the speed down. Well, not ride the brakes, but allow it to kind of accelerate and then use a little bit of brake just to kind of taper that off. Or, quick screen grab, down, got it. I think I've got it.
Inver 809.
Or we could feather engine 1 basically to reduce the power output, so we don't have this vast acceleration. ordinarily we would just have one engine, effectively. So we would just use engine 2 for taxi. We'd push back and then we would sort out engine 2 and then we'd just taxi away ourselves. But the power backs meant that we haven't been able to do that. We've got Echo Delta, which must be this one. Yeah, because the next one's Lima. So this has to be Delta.
3808 Yankee, contact departures, yeah.
Contact departures, Osprey 08 Yankee.
Is the controller in the live chat? Did you want us to transfer after takeoff? By the way, folks.
Look
how good that looks.
Inver 809, you're cleared to Sydney via the Olsen flight plan route from Atri to Gold Coast.
Small little, I think a Twin Otter there.
Climb I said 6000, squawk 4 to 57 and departures on 124.7.
Fly Tim, hello, saying there's a cracking chapter in one of Captain James McBride's books, and in it he explains how to use reversers in a 757 to push back in a remote airfield, and he told everybody in the flight deck to shout if he braked. Kevin M. Fantastic. Happy memories then.
299, no worries. Stand by, I'll call you back. No worries.
There she goes. Next stop, Gladstone.
5184, you ready for departure?
Martin 284, we are happy to let the others go first. We'll be ready in about 3 minutes.
5184, roger. Osprey 598, you ready to go?
Osprey 598, ready for takeoff.
Osprey 598, thanks. Runway 32, line up.
Line up 32, Osprey 598.
It's going to be a
Tower Osprey 272, ready for taxi.
sporty departure. Uh-oh, is that a tail strike? Did someone just apply reverse thrust?
2472, roger, taxi Alpha Charlie holding point 32.
Witnessed live by the boss.
Taxi Alpha Charlie holding point runway 32 for Osprey.
Unbelievable. Faris is at the office. I've just got to try and rotate this so we can watch this takeoff.
Osprey 250 with information Delta requesting clearance to Gladstone.
I do love this Anzac livery, it's fantastic. So Kilo is a closed taxiway, hold point. We need full length anyway, it's a very short runway.
Designed heading right 360 degrees. Runway 32.
2,492 metres though actually, it's not that long, it's not that short.
Osprey 598, confirm right heading 360 degrees.
Heading right is 36 degrees, Osprey 598.
Yeah, 360 degrees.
360 degrees, Osprey 598.
That'll do us there. Get them engines on, Max. Brakes off, look at that. He's in the 737-600 though.
5184, its initial climb 6,000.
Takes off like a rocket.
If you break that, departures will probably be very mad with you.
Roger, 6,000, no worries.
Inver 809, I'm going to repeat this one last time. You cleared to Sydney via the Olsen flight plan route, runway 32, Gold Coast 6 departure. Climb Sid 6,000, squawk 4.
Bam, there he goes.
57, and departures on 124.
So that's it, right turn 360. Outbound with the right turn and away he goes. It's quite an interesting departure this, because you're turning right very quickly. Look how quick he's climbing. It's so fast. Beauty perfect. We wanted to capture the essence of kind of Anzac heritage with the tail. And then we put on both sides, we've got a Kiwi and the New Zealand flag on that side. And then on the other side we've got a kangaroo with the Australian flag on it.
Thank you for service. Have a nice day.
Thanks for your understanding there. Osprey 250, clearance available, advise ready, copy.
Ready to copy clearance, Osprey 250.
Osprey 250, you cleared to Gladstone via the Scott flight plan route, runway 32, Gold
That'll
Coast
do,
6
park brakes
departure.
back on.
Climb
Power management's on takeoff. We want to make sure we've reset the fuel, which is...
124.7.
Where is it?
Clear to Gladstone flight via the
Trying to
Gold Coast
remember
32,
the little things we want to recall.
Climb via set, walk 6003, departing frequency 124.7.
Is it in this? I can't remember now.
Osprey 250, confirm climb via set 6000.
Climb 6000, Osprey 250.
No, perhaps not.
Osprey 250.
Osprey 284, ready.
That's pretty cool.
Mustang 5184, runway 32, line up.
Line up runway 32, Mustang 5184.
I've properly got it in my head today, folks, that I've forgotten something. I can't think what it is.
Mustang 5184, assigned heading 320 degrees, runway heading, runway 32, clear for takeoff.
Assigned heading 320, runway heading, runway 32, clear for
Let's
takeoff.
see, I think that's that little little prop. See if I can get a better view. Through the engine, but
Osprey 5386, you ready to go?
speed's on auto already, Doc, I think.
Yeah, that was on readable 6x5.
Oh yeah, I want heading
Osprey
mode.
5386 is ready to go.
Osprey 5386, thanks, runway 32, line up and wait.
32, line up and wait,
So
Osprey
alarm heading
5386.
mode. And we'll just leave it at that, I think. Keep things simple. Speed mode as well, which will pop up after departure. Crikey, that was some rapid acceleration. Surveillance as well down here. TCAS and transponder are on. Well, that sounds expensive. I can hear something clattering down the down the road at my house. He's airborne already, crikey. And there's something else
184, contact departures here.
pooning down the road.
Over to departures, Mustang 5184, see ya.
Oh, and something else. What the heck's going on outside? Is it that windy? Oh my god. What do we got? Yeah, so that's magenta. And Osprey 165 at the hold, ready and turn.
Osprey 165. And Osprey 5386 for planning purposes, you can expect right turn heading 360.
Speed mode and heading
Perfect, that's right
select.
turn 36 Osprey 5386.
And don't forget, folks, we've got to do notch for takeoff. I'm in Oxfordshire. Ah, just realised the overlay I don't think was on the screen, was it? Oh no, it was. I just couldn't see it properly on my little thing that I have.
Osprey 250, ready for push and start.
Osprey 250, push first.
Push approved, Osprey 250.
Let's pull the Met off of Heathrow again, I'm curious.
Victor 809, ready for push and start.
209.
210 at 16. Definitely not the case here. Keep smashing the like button, folks, if you're enjoying today's live stream. Lots of you watching as well today on this rather windy Saturday in the UK. Great to see lots of you with us for the flight.
What's your holding position, 809?
Osprey 5386, runway 32, clear for takeoff.
Have a little crash gate over there, look, a little,
32, for
little
takeoff,
bridge over the
Osprey
brook, it's pretty cool.
5386.
So that's Zato, he's been given his takeoff clearance. Sunday, yeah. What did I say, Amaze Taste? I'm having one of those tired days. Did I say Saturday? Oh dear.
Osprey 165, runway 32, line up and wait.
3-2, line up and wait, Osprey 165. Crikey, the acceleration on this thing. Strobes on, lights and signs. We'll put the logo light on because why not? In fact, we don't really need it. Let's not bother. Alrighty. He's up. God, that's a heck of a climb. I just think right here, as we're taxiing over now, there's a little road, a little tunnel that cuts underneath the plane, which is quite cool, and then pops out there where that brickwork is.
Osprey 5386, airborne.
Osprey 5386, thanks. Just confirm you're making that right turn now, heading 360.
Affirm, we're now in the turn, heading 360.
Osprey 5386, thanks. Contact departures, zip line.
Over to departure, Central ADC. Have a good evening, Osprey 5386. Cheers.
It's morning now.
Gotta make sure I've sorted that out. Turn the tow eye tracker off because it does make some weird kind of things with these aeroplanes. Gust locks off, they're both on automatic, flaps set. Idle gate, that will snap into flight.
Invert 809, runway, correction, invert 809, push approved.
Push approved in Victor 809.
And then it's going to be 360, so I'm going to set that now actually anyway. 360. We'll pop TCAS automatic, and then comms 1247 for departures ready, so we just hit that switch button there. Jobs are good. And so after takeoff, I think remember this, we've got to then go initially to about 1,000 feet, we'll do the right turn, and then we'll go to power management climb, using the power management dial there, make sure the gear's up, flaps are retracted. Here we go.
Climb unrestricted, assigned heading 360 degrees, runway 32, clear for takeoff.
Unrestricted climb 360 degrees and 32 clear for takeoff, Osprey 165, thanks. Set a bit of 30% torque, that'll do. Notch. Takeoff inhibit. Speed's alive, power set. V1, rotate. Again, don't forget, you just got to let it tease into the air. Anything over 5 degrees, you're probably going to tail strike it. Positive rate, gear up. 100. And in for the right turn. Not sure why it was turning left then, a bit weird. But anyway, let's bring the nose down to match. And power management to climb.
Osprey 165, contact departure, safe flight.
Contact departure and massive thanks to the ATC. Have a good night, Osprey 165. Bye.
Osprey, Mustang 5184. I don't believe there's a hole over Gold Coast. I can help you search it up. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm looking at the VOR Yankee for runway 32 and it's 4,000, but that's not the maximum altitude.
What have we got? Your damper.
Mustang 5184, we do need a left turn due to terrain.
Autopilot on.
Mustang 5184 is going to turn.
And it's going to level off now about 2,000 to get the acceleration up.
150, Mustang 5184.
3150, we can clean the aeroplane's flaps up. Brisbane approach, good afternoon. Osprey 165's 2,000 feet out of the Gold Coast, heading 360.
left turns.
Ah.
Block. Mustang 5184, the minimum hold altitude for Gold Coast is 4,000. Left turns, 1 minute holds. Roger, Mustang 5184, thank you.
Brisbane approach, good evening. Osprey 165's 2,300 feet, heading 360 out of Gold Coast.
Osprey 165, Brisbane approach, get a identified climb by flight level 180.
Flight acid, flight level 180, Osprey 165. Is it flight level 120? So this will climb at 170. Hold on, I've knocked my heading bug there. There we go. Ah, Explorer's mad. No worries at all. Thank you very much. Here's a question for you. Do we still need to route via Scotter after departure, or are we maintaining the heading of 360 as prescribed by yourself?
Osprey 165, resume navigation, track direct Scott.
Ah, there we go. Oh, navigation direct Scott, Osprey 165. That's that answered then, isn't it?
Mustang 5184.
So, as much as we wanted to turn towards Scott, we're drifting away and all that sort of stuff. At the same time, we've been given it's a radar vector's departure. I did think that would be the case, but I thought I'd ask in case I've missed something. It wouldn't be the first time I've got something wrong. Okay, let's test the direct 2 then. DTO, Scott, execute, nav. Nav mode and speed mode both engaged. 5,000 feet. Flaps are up. That's all good. They're in automatic still. Engines are good. And we remain basically in notch the whole time.
Climbing through 2,700 feet.
Osprey 3472, departures identified. Climb by flight level 180.
Climb by the flight level 180, Osprey 2472.
Oh, I might have missed that, Doc, if you were asking that in the chat, sorry. It's always busy on takeoff, isn't it? Yeah, I think this is one of my favourite liveries of all time for our design. Demo Designs created it, and it took us, I think, about a month, roughly, from the initial kind of design chat that we had about what I wanted to achieve with the livery to the actual final product as well. I think it just looks really, really good. And it's the little details as well. If we make our way towards the tail, we've got on the engine there, look at that fine bit of detail there. But the tail, it really, really pops. Look at this. There's the little Australian flag with a kangaroo. I do find myself more and more wanting to move this kind of part of the world. We've gone for some Aboriginal patterns and then a good old New Zealand fern as well, washing up through the back of the tail. It's stunning. Ramallian, yes, so it's a radar vector's departure, and we were given heading 360 degrees, which is our radar vectors from ATC for the departure. So we maintain that until we're told otherwise, and then effectively, as we had a moment ago, just as we were starting to think about it ourselves, we then get the radar vectors. We got resume navigation direct Scott. And then we can do a direct 2 and continue along the way. What we do need to do though is change. Cruise has already changed to 180. Good. All right. What's great about this is the fact that it is low and slow.
Osprey 2472, resume my navigation, direct Scott.
So you can kind of just set a view like this,
2472.
and you can sit back and relax. Flying a lot slower, so it gives you more opportunity to work through bits if little bits are starting to go wrong. And
Osprey 808 Yankee, center soft line, identification service, terminated, frequency change approved.
the ATR, Anton, I think is about 10 to 14 pounds UK pounds sterling, depending on if you've got premium deluxe or not. But worth every single penny, I think. It's such an enjoyable little aircraft to go and fly.
Are there any more pending departures below? I believe there's one more. Roger. Once that's gone, request 4,000 feet thereafter for the VOR Yankee, runway 32, Mustang 584.
Yeah, we've got a way to go though. An hour and a bit. We're still nowhere near Brisbane CBD yet. That's all the way over there. So quite far out into the coast this route actually, isn't it? Explorers Mad said it's just our phraseology in Australia really. Each airport has a vectored departure. 99% of the time you'll get a resume mode navigation before you reach the initial climb. Well, app plays, not sure, buddy. Yeah, Jim, they fixed a lot of the hydraulic power problems. So before in the previous version as well, when the ATR was broken, when you idle the throttle, you had like a load of hydraulic failures kind of all start to kick in, which is not ideal. But they've solved that now with this update, and it is working wonderfully. It's really enjoyable. Look at that engine design. It's stunning.
Departure, good morning, Osprey 250, climbing to 2,500 for 6,000.
Osprey 250, departures identified, climb, flight level 180, resume navigation, direct Scott.
Right, let's go to local pressure, or standard pressure, sorry, so STD. And then push standard there. Up we go. Landing lights, taxi lights. Seatbelt signs. That's everything.
Osprey 5184.
And you can still work through all the checklists using the procedures menu there. They're all pending. I don't bother with it. I've got my own flow that I like to use.
Requesting the VOR bridge.
A4 requesting the VOR Yankee, the VOR instrument at down approach.
We can press the little plus button there to zoom out on our nav display. Reckons IDRAS is going to be our cruise flight level 180, top of climb. Jim, well your big mistake there, buddy, is the fact that you're using the kind of crash systems inside Microsoft Flight Simulator still. Don't do it. It's utter rubbish. The way the sim reads all of that. So if you overstress the airframe ever so slightly, then you can bin the entire flight on it. So I've always had that switched off, and I would recommend, if you guys have got crash detection on still within MSFS, then just get it switched off.
Mustang 5184,
there's the cabin.
Runway 32, you can expect the VOR Yankee approach, descent of 4,000.
Roger, descent of 4,000 feet, you can expect VOR Yankee, runway 32, Mustang 584.
Close this. Little cargo hold bit. And then we can walk on into the flight deck. I think. Yeah, that's it, because there's no jump seat as such. That's the first time I've noticed the crash axe.
Osprey 5386, center soft line identification.
Yeah, I've had that as well. Just taxiing away quite happily, and then bang, crash to desktop. Quite frustrating. And yeah, according to MSFS, if you land too hard, that's a crash as well, even though it would just be a hard landing. I'm not sure, Rob. No, did you have the Orbx scenery, or was it one of the freewares? Because it might have just been the way the freewares developed. It might be in the perhaps in the wrong place, taxiway wise. I had a comment this morning on one of my YouTube videos from quite a way ago. Quite an interesting one actually, and I could say surprised, but I suppose not, because there is an element of elitist attitude with some pilots that I have met in the past. And this person felt that it necessary to comment on this video to say, you know what, let me read it because I'll get it then precise. There we go. I just cringe every time I see flight sim videos.
Osprey 165, offline. Nothing further. Identification service terminated. Unicom 128.
Unicom 1228, Osprey 165. Thanks to the ATC. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, this person felt it necessary to say, I just cringe every time I see flight sim videos. I'm glad it's not real, because normal people just shouldn't be allowed to fly planes. And that was the first thing I read when I woke up this morning. It's crazy, right? And what stood out to me this morning, bleary-eyed at 7 AM, before I'd had my morning coffee, was the quote, "Normal people just shouldn't be allowed to fly planes." And it didn't set me off, but it set me off a little bit. And I replied back to this chap saying, correct, normal people can't fly aircraft. It's sadly, at least in the UK, an industry for the wealthy to take part in, shutting out an entire portion of society who would love to be a professional pilot. And he hasn't replied. Unbelievable. And I think he forgets that there's normal people. That's the bit that kind of not got to me, Birdman, but I found rather bold. The thing is, when I was flying and when I could afford to do my PPL training, and I couldn't do any more because I ran out of money again for the third time that I've tried to do my PPL. Flight Sim, certainly some of the good products like the Just Flight PA28 was really helpful actually trying to go through my flows and my bump fits checks, so brakes off, undercarriage fix, mixture rich, all of that sort of stuff. And it was helping me practice those flows and get my head around all of that kind of thing, so I could then focus on just the flying a little bit more, because the drills were second nature. But meh, the guy's probably not a real pilot, let's face it. Hey Nate, thank you buddy, what's up? Massive thanks for your super chat, dropping $5 very generous of you, thank you very much. And it's their 5th super chat on the live stream. Yeah, hopefully my comment back has humbled him somewhat, Tracy and Zato. What is normal? The way that the sentence sounded to me, David, was he meant kind of poor people. Effectively. People like us who enjoy flight sim because as much as we would want to be real pilots, we just can't afford it. And we didn't have that privileged upbringing and all the rest of it. So yeah, the guy can go and no, I won't say it. He can bugger off. That's probably a nicer way of putting it. Yeah, normal people don't leave comments like that, and that's the thing. It's just an elitist attitude from that one person. I just thought, how many others is that kind of viewpoint replicated by? Because you do get some real pilots actually, as an interesting point of discussion, I guess. The only reason why I brought this up, you get quite a few pilots that are fairly humble people, and they actually enjoy a bit of flight sim in their own time as well. And I've met some where I've been chatting away about bits, and they've said, how do you know that? And I'll be like, well, I fly Microsoft Flight Simulator or whatever else, and I've learned the drills of starting an A320 or whatever it might be. And they're like, oh, bloody hell, that's really good. That's quite impressive. And then they start talking about how come you're not a pilot, and then we get into the whole financial burden chat and all this sort of thing. You'll be pleased to know as well from yesterday's live stream when we started chatting about our own little investigations into what is going on at Honeycomb Aeronautical at the moment. You'll be glad to know that we found a few other little bits, and I've emailed the company the CEO of Snakebite, this German chap called Mike, who, interestingly enough, also seems to own parts of or be involved in Snakebite USA Inc., which seems to be the same company as Honeycomb Aeronautical, but they're two separate companies. But Nicky Repenning owns and runs both. Interesting. All very complex. And then we found a load of import logs yesterday where the last import Honeycomb Aeronautical and Snakebite USA ever had was back in August 2023, and they've not had a single import of any Honeycomb products since, which is quite concerning. So I reckon they've shut up shop and it's done. Well, there's some significant legal problems. Not good. Image Seeker, welcome buddy. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that. All of the support there. Joining us as a gold frequent flyer today. Crikey. Look at that contrail. I wonder who that is. I wonder if you still see their jet. There they are. They're a little bit offset over that way, so let's do that as a screenshot. In fact, what's the time? Yeah, we'll leave it at that, because otherwise it will get a bit confused when I start to think about ETAs. Oh, look at that. Look at the tail reflection as well, underneath that horizontal stabilizer. Ooh. Ian says, I remember when I started my PPL, when I mentioned I did flight sim, my instructor rolled his eyes. Yeah, mine did as well, actually. After my first few flights, he actually did say, I can tell you take your simming seriously because you're starting from a very solid base. Yeah, it says it all. My instructor said, oh God, I'm trying to remember the exact phrase now because it was over about 3 odd years ago, but it was words to the effect of, we were chatting about flight sim, and he went on to this little bit of a rant, and it was, I don't understand people who think they're flying planes on a game when they have no idea. And it was words to that effect until 3 flights later I'm ready to go solo, and he was scratching his head wondering how I'd learnt so quick. Image Seeker, thank you. Awesome livery for the ATR. It's one of ours, that Osprey Airways, that you can download for free and enjoy yourself. So if you do want to get your hands on it, just head to the website britishavgeek.com and you can download it there via the MSFS liveries page. I'm just going to try and dig out the change log. 1 to go to cruise. Happy days. So it's version number 1.0.36 for the ATR with a big old change log. They've added marker for match throttle position to the calibrated window. Should probably have done that actually. EFB options items have been rearranged, which is this tab here. They're a little bit rearranged, not massively. What does the play button do? Is it next page? Oh yeah. So I've done a few little bits with that. Fixed nav source not switching to nav 2 when VILS2 is selected on the captain's side. So that's involving that little switch there. They fixed the centre of gravity graph coordinate calculation. So that's back in the EFB. It's a little bit higgledy-piddly, apologise folks. So the way this is all displayed and calculated is a little bit more accurate now, and they've also fixed MFC test timing when we turn power on to the aircraft too. They've added an EFB option for display unit click spot help overlay, And they've also added a click spot help overlay to the MFD and EWD, but the graphics are placeholders. Changed nose wheel steering to a new method, which means that it doesn't fight control inputs. And they've also fixed flight idle torque, now dropping to 0% in flight, which is what was giving everybody the hydraulic problems previously in the last version. Lufthansa. I just cringe every time random people feel the need to openly unveil their lack of brain cells that says, love your streams bro, keep going, go Osprey. Appreciate that very much, very generous of you, thanks for your super chat. I hope the bot reads that out as well.
4,000 feet for approach Gladstone along that.
Right, MPS Gaming's already at Gladstone, good going. Fixed gear lever now locked in down position on the ground, and they've fixed the progress page, total distance and estimate fuel on board calculations, which is this. You can see it's working out the EFB there. Go on, read it out.
I just cringe every time random people feel the need to openly unveil their lack of brain cells. Love your streams, bro. Keep going. Heart. Go Osprey. Smiley face.
Yeah, once again, thank you Lufthansa. Appreciate it. Very generous of you. Thanks for the support. Explorers Mad, no, massive thank you to you guys, both whoever it was on Approach as well, or Brisbane Approach. Really appreciate you guys both connecting super early in the morning for you, like 1 o'clock in the morning, and to give us some air traffic control. It's massively appreciated. Yeah, thank you very much and have a good night. Absolutely, Kevin. Well, I've given up on it because it's just woefully expensive at £250 an hour. And I don't think it's any money that I could reasonably justify spending when there are more important things going on in life, to be fair, let's face it. Let's dive back into that changelog and we'll continue to reel through this because it's a huge changelog and it actually makes the ATR, well, it's fixed the ATR from the previous version, which was quite unusable for many. And hopefully now it'll also mean lots of you guys flying for Osprey Airways will make use of our ATR72s and 42s that are in our fleet as well, able to be used. So fixed flight idle torque now dropping, we've done that. Fixed power management knobs animation synchronization. We need to click the switch now actually because we are now 180, we're at cruise. So before you would rotate that and it would look like both kind of twitch a little bit and it's a little bit odd. Now, nice and smooth, look at that. So that's one of the changes. Nice little change, there's the animation. Fixed gross weight and fuel on board indications on EWE, not updating when engines are running. And that's this bit here. I'll keep an eye on that just to see if that gross weight for the kilos, so the fuel bit changes slightly to match. Remove automatic wind entry from perf approach page and fixed the approach calculation on the perf approach page according to FCON limitations 3.4.9 page 15 for the ATR's official manual. Fixed roll hole mode, added workaround to reduce prop RPM of engine 2 in hotel mode to 0 or around 0. Fixed en route holding tracking. So they can do holds again properly. Couldn't really struggled before. Fixed cabin and compartment temperature jumping. Fixed PFD throttle hint status not loaded from a community report. Fixed manual cabin altitude default position to neutral and source select push button to show manual when released. Fixed mode select push button to show manual when released. Changed source select and mode select push buttons to be pushed in on loading. And added landing elevation is now set to destination airport runway elevation after activating the flight plan. Change default setting to decision height and MDA knobs to MDA. Just waiting for that fuel load to change again. Fixed probe warning with AC while power gens offline while airborne. Fixed amp meter indications and state buttons not reacting on mouse over in the EFB. Fixed bug where anti-ice faults would not be shown in the MFD memo area, and reactivated conditional drawing for certain primary flight display and multifunction display areas. Fixed bug where ECL procedure version would not differentiate between prop brake set and not set, and a fix for multifunction display VCP perf page, confirm takeoff data button not being updated. Added an animation code for cockpit voice recorder testing and lighting for ground control button based on Magnar's description, and provided a fix for the primary flight display MDA coloured altitude shown despite MDA not being active. Implemented some sort of is procedure detail set method, it sounds like a bit of coding stuff there, and fixed power source for mechanics core horn, which should be connected to DC essential bus. Remind me when we land, folks, at Gladstone to press the horn button. Arrows, welcome, and we'll try and press the horn button, see if it alerts the mechanics around the nose of the aeroplane. Implemented cockpit door state dependent MFD vid image. There's a button here somewhere, isn't there, for cockpit? Oh, vid. Hold on. There we go. So let's see if that changes, right? Because our doors are closed at the moment. Oh, look at that. It's like real time. So they fixed that. Let's do half a door. Ah, I'm trying to trick it. Let's try the other door. Oh, fair play. Fair play. Can't knock that, can we? Fixed a bug in the EFB weight calculations. Note there are no partial passengers, so weights might deviate a little bit. And they fixed a bug that would cause a negative distance calculation for a waypoint following a route discontinuity. They've added multiple local VARs for third-party virtual co-pilot implementations, and fixed second MCDU sometimes being locked on a different page other than the menu. Added support for 3-letter airport codes in the United States, that's good. Fixed a bug in DME distance calculation and a potential crash in the DME arc drawing function. They've added new loading tip localizations and added waypoint 1,500 feet above airport level if no SID is selected. That's quite cool as well. So it gives you like an overhead transition. Fixed all Direct 2 subpages showing the first listed waypoint as active. We've already checked that out through a Direct 2. Worked quite nicely as well. And they fixed the approach speed remaining selected on after FMS reset at end of flight, which was a real annoying bug for many in the previous versions. They've fixed a VATSIM related bit here where COM2 radio not reacting to reducing volume to 0, and they've fixed the gear extension retraction without hydraulics, but the sound currently is not yet in sync, so that will be probably done in a future update too. Fixed a bug which caused DC Gen 2 to show in Volt if only engine 2 was running, and fixed engine cannot be started after shutdown by pulling fire handle. Because of that, they've then added a repair engine button to the EFB, which is new in this version, and that will allow you to then, if you pull the fire handle in flight or on the ground, it will allow you to reset it using that switch there, which is quite cool, isn't it? Martin, you don't need to apologise. Oh, Dirty 2, that's a bit of a rubbish one, isn't it? London Control has gone offline because it's just chaos for them at the moment. I suppose everybody's trying to fly in through Storm Isha, aren't they? Steve, hello. Oh, why do I feel like this is going to be a thing? We can push to sync that as well, keep that in line. That's a point. How come our speed hasn't gone up to... cruise? Look how slow we're flying. I don't know if I want to try it dock in flight. Might have to try it on the ground perhaps. Let's have a little look at the charts for Gladstone. Gladstone, Brooks. AJL, good morning to you from Tennessee. So, Sunshine Coast just to the left. As we then go back inland over the east coast of Australia. We'll be heading northwesterly up towards Waypoint Loafer before then heading up towards Gladstone. There's a hold at Mudan to see if we get anything there. If it's really busy we might have to join that hold, although it shouldn't be a problem. And we need to configure for the RNAV 10 approach via Gladstone Alpha. So about a 10-mile final from Mudan, roughly. From 3,500 feet, it's 13 miles final actually. And then we'll go for an LNAV based approach. Actual aerodrome QNH, the decision altitude, the MDA would be 580 feet. But if we have a forecast terminal QNH for the wider area, not just specific to the airfield, then that MDA rises to 680. So we'll see what we can get. If I go Metar Wine GLA, oh, we've got one. I'll put it in the live chat. Although that's definitely not right though. That's from the 21st at 1400 Zulu. Oh no, okay, that is new. That's literally 32 minutes ago. For some reason I read that as December, 21st of December, and then panicked. But there you go. That's the weather. 5 knot crosswind, 5 knot headwind in that kind of minimal VFR conditions. A little bit of low cloud, but nice temperatures. QNH 1008. Runway lengthwise, 1,920 meters, so very similar to the runway length of Skiathos Airport basically. No sweat for the ATR. And we're going to vacate right off the runway, I think. Yeah, we don't have any of the charts. This bit here looks like the main terminal area, so we'll go and have a little look there. And then once we've landed, we'll have a little look around Gladstone, because it's a bit of an industrial area by the sounds of it. There's like a huge train yard, which I think they've put into the scenery, which is quite nice as well. Max Cruise. Max Cruise. There you go. That's cool. So we can flick between long range mode to extend the fuel endurance, or Max Cruise. Mining City, Kevin, that's the one. Yeah, so we'll have a good look around, because I think they've tried to kind of harness the reality of Gladstone and the little bit of kind of area around the airport as well as part of this scenery. Like I said, there's a huge train yard from what I've read, which could be quite cool. Oh, Nighthawk, nice. Mega profit. By the way, if you're a pilot for Osprey Airways, please do fly if you've not flown over the last month. Had like a statistics update this morning. Had a little look, and out of the almost 800 pilots that we've got on the books, only 25% of them have actually filed a flight in the last 30 days. So let's try and increase them statistics if we can, either via free flight or scheduled modes. We've got cargo routes, we've got vast route network to go and enjoy, or free range kind of free flight mode, which lets you fly wherever you want, whenever you want. So there's lots of flexibility to be had there. YGLA, RNAV 10.
Traffic cross by Fahrenheit at flight level
No stars.
110, descent to 4000
Interesting.
inbound. Modern approach 20 miles.
So let's see if we can put Glawoofer in it. Whatever the heck. I'm going to say Gladstone West Alpha. I think that's what it means. GLZWA before Mudan. Yeah, that works. Clear the discontinuity. Bingo. (1008), that's all good. Landing flap full. Winds are in. And is that updating? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, it was 90 before. Or 21-600, I can't remember now. But it looks like that is updating nicely. So they've fixed quite a nice number of bits. Ah, epic, Pinky, thank you very much. Minimums. So we've got an accurate forecast for Gladstone, so because of that we'll use the actual aerodrome QNH MDA, which was 580. Might take a while to spin this, so we'll go... Oh, actually that's moving pretty quick. 580. And it's matching that of the first officer's side. Now if we flicked the first officer's side to DH, we're going to get a mismatch. Oh no, they're linked now. Interesting. Before you could offset both and then it would start to flash to say that there was a mismatch between the first officer's and the captain's side, but it looks like they've taken that away entirely. Unless it's due to the linked systems. Mad Rabbit, very nice. Brumalin says, do you guys have some third-party major airport recommendations for Europe? Have you got Flytampers Amsterdam, Brumalian? That is remarkably good. Aerosoft Brussels, fantastic. Flytamper Athens as well is stunning, properly stunning airport scenery there. Inibuilds Heathrow. Inibuilds Stansted. Pari Devco, East Midlands. Well, that's not a major airport, I guess, but it's major for cargo. What else is there? I'm trying to rattle off a few at the top of my head. Wow. You know what I've just been told? From our discussion yesterday of Honeycomb, when if you pre-order the Charlie you get a hat. Apparently those hats never got sent out either. Aviation is here yet. We've done the Azores a few times actually. Beautiful part of the world to go and explore. I mean, we neglect at the minute. We've been neglecting this part of the world though, and America, to be fair. Teja, roll back about 10 minutes ago. We've just gone through the entire changelog. There's a vast quantity of stuff. Pop some of these screenshots on. Doink, 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 doink. Got some wicked screenshots today. And let's have a little look while we're in the cruise at Volanta to see where we're at so far. So already the jets have arrived. We've got Nautica.
Gladstone traffic,
He's already on the ground in the CRJ550.
Final 1-2 miles to runway 10 approach.
Flying the CRJ550 with a nice Ukrainian flag on the back of the aircraft by the looks of it there. What else have we got? Ian as well, Osprey 77 out of Hamilton Island as well. Beautiful Hamilton Island. That's something we'll probably try and do next week. Alice Springs to Hamilton perhaps. Fantastic bit of scenery there by AU Scene. We've got Badger, Virgin Australia 919 is about to touch down in the 737, followed by MPS Gaming Osprey 598. Who else have we got? That's everyone there. Looks like backtracks required for touchdowns if you're in the big jets. Osprey 250 in the A320neo. And Osprey 808 Yankee. Followed by Zato, Osprey 5386, who departed just ahead of us. There he is. Oh yes, he's flying the Anzac livery as well. Beautiful. Stunning. And then behind us, Osprey 2472, Ian. And he's in the ATR as well. Epic. Oh yes, flying the lovely Fern. Ooh, nice. I didn't notice the ships. What add-on is that, Ian? I didn't have those. That's pretty cool. No idea, Mad Rabbit. Very, very worrying, that's for sure. Ah, Nausicaa, no worries at all. Great livery. Oh, Steve, nice. What I got is a just a double-sided strip of sticky tape. 3M double-sided, and I stuck it underneath the bottom of my mini FCU, and then I basically wodged it onto the top of my Honeycomb Bravo, and it's fixed rigid as anything on top of it now. Well, Mad Rabbit, if you go to the Honeycomb Simulations Discord, we were discussing it yesterday, because I'm trying to talk about it more so that people can find out more information and be a bit more informed. Maybe get answers. Pretty terrible what's going on at the minute with Honeycomb. But I can't work out if there's a bit of if there's a legal issue or if there's been a bit of fraud going on or not. But it's fishy as heck, and it stinks of suspiciousness. Fly Sim Studio, hello. The ATR's really good. Thing is, it's a slow old jet, which I know winds Doc up massively on the stream. You hate how slow this aeroplane is, don't you, Doc? But I really like it. And we were supposed to cruise at flight level 120 today, which meant that we'd have been low and slow over this wonderful bit of scenery, but we've been told to step up to flight level 180. Shop.minicockpit.com, Pinky Simulation. There'll be a new pre-order thing starting soon, basically. Samsung 3D RKPC and RKPK. Yeah, I don't really have any contact with Samsung myself, but I think I have tried some of their products in the past. They were quite nice. So hopefully we can sort something out there. To be fair, Korea is one of those parts of the world we haven't really gone and explored very much of. To be fair, we probably should explore a bit more of that. Bears, hello to you, living on the Gold Coast and fly out of Gold Coast often. Orbx has done the airport perfectly, they say. Great to hear. Yeah, I thought it was quite a nice bit of work that they'd done for a little regional airport. Doc says it's unnecessarily low and slow, but look how efficient it is. I mean, we can't even top 200 knots, and we're in notch. Oh, you know what we need? Oh, actually, no, because it's not an ILS approach. We've got a VOR at Gladstone. Oh, there is one, 1163, but we're not going to be using that. Just a VOR. Just an RNAV approach, that's fine. Doc, is that what those airports are, eh? RKPC and RKPK? Is that Seoul and Jeju? I've always wanted to fly into the Jeju Islands, to be fair. I think that'd be quite cool. And we've not flown around Japan for a little while either. It's absolutely stunning, the landscape around there.
Gladstone traffic, Osprey 5386 at 120, descending to 3000. Inbound
Neil, VOR is basically a radar on the ground, and it's omnidirectional, so it will send out a pulse 360 degrees, and an aircraft can pick that up, pick that signal up, and then it can work out where it is based on the bearing of that signal from that VOR, from that little ground radar. If it's got distance measuring equipment on it, then it will give a distance as well, but it means that you can then match up a course or a radial, and you can then also see if you're flying towards or away from that VOR. So it's just a way of navigating. But some approaches are based on VORs and they're non-precision. RKSI, got it. Not mega familiar with a lot of the airports around there. Yeah, Korea would be cool. Perhaps maybe next week. I think 2 streams next week, if I get the chance. Maybe one of those we can do a hop to Jeju. Once we work out what scenery there might be available and stuff. I'm coming up to the end of the tax year, which is a point where I've ended up spending a lot of money to kind of maintain the channel. But it then means I'm going to have a big tax bill that I'm going to have to settle in August, so I'm going to have to start saving up some of the income that I get from YouTube to be able to pay that tax bill, basically. So I can't go crazy splashing out on various sceneries and paying for lots of stuff. So I'm kind of at the point in the year where I've got to start being a bit careful.
Gladstone traffic, Osprey taxi to stand 1.
Power on. Self-test. These are animated. To open. Turn. That's the printer, right? Well, the buttons work, but there's no animation. Imagine if they get a thing that prints out the METAR like the A321X did ages ago. That would be well good in this. We want to change surveillance. This guy's. Yeah, only. On. That'll do. Top of descent is 60 miles. We shouldn't need any reverse prop for this landing, to be fair. But we'll use full flap, a little bit of gentle braking. There's nothing really to kind of go into for the approach. We've done all of the prep, because this is a regional hop. It's basically just designed so we can just hop around quite merrily between various little airports and not have to worry too much about the complexities of some of these big approaches and stuff. Whose Belfast City should you get, Obi Kenobi? I didn't know there was two. Do you mean for you got? Is it George Best Airport, or do you mean that's Belfast City, isn't it? I didn't know there were two scenery developers for that. Oh my God, Martin! Yes, you have to self-discipline, Luke. I'm a 71-year-old pensioner, bought some airports and scenery the other day, and then found out he'd spent 163 quid. Yeah, it's so easy to get carried away, isn't it? Absolutely worth it. Roth says he's been exploring New Zealand this weekend. It's amazing. Might have to get some airports for it. It's probably the most detailed part of the world in Microsoft Flight Simulator at the moment, I would say. A really, really impressive part of the world with a lot of really good payware scenery available. Certainly the NZA simulations stuff, like Christchurch Airport, really good quality. Yeah, go for it, by Command Stew. I've done some tutorials for it, so if you do want to get stuck into this ATR and you think now it's at a point where you're happy to give it a go, then have a little look at the channel. I've got a dedicated selection of playlists for the ATR. I think I've done a checklist for it as well, actually. So you can dive in and have a little look and learn the aeroplane as you go. It is good. What it does is it gives you an appreciation. I'm not a fan of general aviation flying in flight sim. For me, my flight sim experience is all about flying the airliners. So when I'm in the ATR, it gives me the ability to fly a little bit lower, a little bit slower, and explore some more remote locations. Appreciate some of the Microsoft Flight Simulator scenery a little bit more from a lower altitude, because the ground around you then pops that little bit more. It's just a completely different style of flying. I think it's fantastic. Remco, good question. If you fly with Osprey, must you fly on VATSIM? Simple answer, nope. You can fly offline as well if you want, and all the rest of it. It's up to you. The main thing is on PC, when you're flying for New Sky and flying for Osprey Airways on New Sky, you remember to track your flight and then close the flight log at the end. I mean, it'll give you your flight report and all that sort of stuff as well.
Transition for on runway 10, Gladstone traffic.
Niksana, just head to the website, brishavgeek.com, and then you'll see links there within that to Osprey Airways, plus all of our channels liveries as well. Yeah, the ATR would be perfect in the Caribbean, hopping around those lovely islands. And that's a part of the world, really, there aren't enough scenery, I don't think. There's not very much scenery for that part of the world, sadly. So what do we need to be? Move down at 3,500. And then it will probably be a hand-flown approach, because it's an LNAV approach, but we won't faff around too much with the arrival, trying to fiddle around with vertical speed mode and all the rest of it. We'll find a spot MPS. And for the first ever time, Gladstone. And somebody's already created a GSX profile for this. So we'll be having a little look at that shortly. As well, testing that 1163. I'm going to put it in. We might then get a nautical mile readout there. Dusty says, oh, the BA-146 is a working weather radar. That's an aeroplane we've not flown in for a while. I think we're all waiting for the Avro RJ, aren't we? Because it's got that more modern FMS and autopilot system.
Hospital 507 miles out, running runways 10.
40 miles, 80 miles. Oh, that's plenty of time. Yeah, we only need about 40 miles to get to 3,500. Thirsty, where are you flying into? What do you mean this bit here? Gladstone's under this bit of cloud. Biker Man Stu saying, not a fan of all the click spots. There are a few, aren't there? Let's have a little look at the latest METAR. There you go, so wind 070 degrees at 7 knots now. All the 9s, unknown cloud types though, scattered. 1,900, scattered 2,300, overcast from 2,900 feet above ground level. That's all of this that we can see there. And temperatures 28 degrees, dew point 25, QNH 1009. Make a note of the QNH. We step down through transition, we'll flick across to that. At plays, it's literally just above where you put that comment. Pinky, yeah, you're going to absolutely love the 737. The 737-800 for me currently is still my favourite in the sim, I think. I get a lot of enjoyment from it. It's a lot more hands-on as well to fly. You not see the METAR app plays? It's when it says Nightbot, and then there's a spanner, and it says YGLA METAR. Should be in the live chat for you all to see. If not, check your live chat settings to make sure you've got it on live chat instead of top chat. Yeah, worth every penny, Pinky. The 737-800 is remarkable. Cuba, welcome on board. Thanks for subscribing. What have we got down here? Gladstone's down there somewhere. Probably under this bit of cloud there. London City to Sunburg. Oof. Crazy route. Should we change that weather bit? What, 070 to 7? Yeah, we could do 070. It annoys me that they've not fixed the input of that, because you kind of have to do it as two separate elements. But hey ho, we'll leave approach on. bring that range ring in a tad, make sure heading is reset. We don't need to fiddle with ILS modes or anything like that, or course, we'll just stay on FMS1. Hello James. That plays very odd. There you go. I've typed it, copied it and pasted it into the live chat. Hopefully you can see that. Highlighted in big yellow thing for me.
Osprey 5386 at 5,000 for 3,000. Inbound Mudan, we are going to be expecting the RNP runway 10. Gladstone traffic.
Jolly good. We've got the VNAV page. Elevation destination's correct. Why is that not wanting to go in though? Ah well, too fussed. Steve says he's got the 737-600 and he loves it. Have the WestJet real livery, only do short flights of less than 2 hours. Yeah, the 737-600 is remarkably good value for money. I think it's about £35, isn't it? MPS Gaming, you love that 736 as well. David, hello to you. Good afternoon. It's doing alright so far today, actually, to be fair. Sammy Shoes, welcome. Yeah, the ATR I think's been it's been updated, it's been fixed, and it's working really nicely. Really, really nicely. Having to dust off a lot of rust because I've forgotten a lot of kind of my flows and things like that with the ATR, but I feel like it's starting to come back quite nicely. Got to get her on the ground yet though. Yeah, it flies like a rocket, doesn't it, MPS Game? We saw that on your climb out. It looked like you went up to about 10,000 feet in the click of a finger. Dusty's going to lose a wing by the sounds of it flying into Sunberg. Good landing, MPS Gaming. 1.29G touchdown. Stall warning, forgot the landing gear, up too late. Did you land with your landing gear retracted? Is that what you're saying? He's done a belly landing. Surely not. Right, let's think about getting her down. So 3 to 5, or 3,500. We'll ignore the altitude C chord.
Gladstone traffic, Osprey 808 Yankee is inbound runway 10, 10 miles, Gladstone traffic.
Well, we got minimum safe altitudes. Let's have a little look. 4,000 for the area we're going to be entering from, so let's continue down to 4. Speed mode. There's 4 different packs all claiming to be better than each other. Which one do you mean, Obi Kenobi? Sorry. Ed, good morning. Hey, look at this lovely river starting to take us in as well towards Gladstone. How are we doing on the descent? 600 we've commanded, so let's keep it going. We'll aim for 1,800 foot per minute. Up seatbelt signs on. we'll just let the speed creep up to 220 before sorting the rest out. There's our bottom of descent marker. Gladstone traffic, Osprey 165, ATR72-600, QNH 1008. Currently flight level 160, descending to 4,030 track miles to the south of the field. We'll report West Alpha Point, turning inbound. Gladstone traffic. Ian! My goodness, look at that. He's gone platinum. Member for 36 months. Thank you for all your support. Apron is chocker. So there's our little bottom of descent marker to show we'll be about 4,000 at that point. We'll keep it going down to about 2,000, and then we can think about switching this across, activating approach speed at the minute. In fact, let's do it now, and it'll automatically switch to 170. We'll leave power management in cruise for the time being until we get a bit further down. Kuba, welcome. Oh, nice. It was you that created the GSX profile. Exciting. Thanks for your efforts. There's a couple of issues with the walking paths right now due to the sceneries, and talks with the developer to fix them. In the meantime, he recommends Gate 2 as it has 0 issues. Is Gate 2 free, folks? I bet it's not. Yeah, absolutely, Dirty 2. You picked an awful day to fly in the UK. Ed, is that chart related? Chartfox.org. But again, it won't have all of them, all of the ones around the world, depending on countries, laws, and things about publishing aviation charts. Because Navigraph use Jeppesen, they bypass that because they're using actual aviation products. Bring those throttles back now. Get that deceleration working in our favour somewhat. Where's that sun? Let's bring it down a little bit, shall we? Let's force it down. There we go. Oh yes. Mood lighting set. Keep smashing the like button, folks, if you're enjoying today's live stream. Thanks for the 65 of you who already have. Great to see. Local QNH time. I'll hit B because it's a good old handy keybind to just set.
2 miles, 8 miles.
Although interestingly, standard pressure didn't change then. There we go. It still said standard. How weird.
Gladstone.
Lights. Signs. They're on. We need to worry about icing. I'm sure it'll be alright. It's 30 degrees outside. Commandante, thank you. Welcome. Steve, yeah, so in flight, your throttles will only go down a minimum to the FI flight idle. So that little handle there will click in itself when you accelerate through flight idle. But if you're on the ground, it will then allow you, with weight on wheels, to go down to ground idle, in which case this will automatically pull itself out on touchdown anyway. Hopefully that helps. Going to use the first officer's display there for terrain mapping. Look at this. Oh yes. Now we're talking. So if I idle them now, it won't. Oh, interesting.
Traffic Osprey 2472 descending through.
Shouldn't let me go into ground idle.
For 4000.
Should only let me go to there.
Expecting the RNAV for runway 10.
Ooh, look at that.
Report when inbound.
It's almost like it goes into a beta mode.
Gladstone traffic.
That's
Gladstone traffic, Osprey
rather odd.
5386, turning final runway 10.
I always thought that's it's locked stand
runway
flight idle.
and 5 miles.
Or perhaps there's just a bit of physical resistance, but it's still going
Yankee
there.
has vacated runway 10 via Alpha 5. Gladstone traffic.
Arrows, it's fantastic, yes. Here we go, into a little bit of cloud. Make sure I've got my charts ready. Or touchdown. So Gladstone, big mining area. We're going to be seeing mines around the vicinity, in the vicinity of the airport, but we might also then see, apparently near the airport, might be on our approach, might be on the other side of the runway, I can't fully remember. We might have, there's a whole, like a big train yard, which sounds quite cool. We've got here speed limits, flap extension, takeoff flap 15, approach 185, so we've got to bring that speed down. Power management back to takeoff, park brake is off, range ring in, and in again. Gladstone traffic Osprey 165's at Gladstone Point West Alpha, turning inbound, we'll report final. There's one mine.
Gladstone traffic,
another one
Osprey 5386, we have the field in sight. 5 nautical miles, we'll call short final.
3-5. Let's keep it going. 500 foot per minute will do us. 173. Hey Patricio, thank you very much. Very generous of you there. Appreciate that. Gifted 5 channel memberships for some of you watching today. We got James Johnson, Steve Collins, welcome. Tenured Amoeba, Nick Lawrence, and Tyralis. Welcome on board, folks. You've just been gifted, courtesy of Patricio, a month's channel membership for free. Don't forget, if you are one of those and you're in our Discord server, link your YouTube account into your Discord user settings via the connections bit of the account in Discord, and it will get you access into our dedicated members area, the Club Lounge. What do we want here? 101 degrees inbound. Let's sync her up. Get that heading bug round. .101. Let's pause the music because it's busy time. 3,500 level alt star. That's captured. And now we want 2650. Missed approach for this. Track direct to Gladstone Whiskey Hotel. Then track 101 degrees. Climb to 2,900 feet. Ah, Rob, wouldn't worry about that. Rightio. Let's get her all set up ready. Turning in. Gladstone traffic, Osprey 165, turning inbound, 13 mile final, runway 10. Gladstone traffic.
Gladstone traffic, Osprey 5386, short final is 10.
Oof, low vis. Right, should we see how intense this gets? Autopilot off. So all I'm doing is staring at my instruments. Except for the vertical guidance. Because that's going to try and get us to hold our altitude. I don't want to do that.
Gladstone traffic, Osprey 5386, vacated, runway 10.
There's the runway. Got a weird old white blotch there though. Interesting. 2 red, 2 white. .170 on the speed. Flaps 15. That will load in a moment. Let our speed come off. I'm actually going to turn the flight director off because it's getting very distracting. It's almost making you try and level off, but actually you don't want to.
Traffic.
A little bit bumpy. We'll just fly the visual approach. .185 for landing extension. Let's get the gear down. 6 miles. Oh, look at this. I'll just turn the Tobii eye tracker on for a moment. So we can see what's going on around us. Look at this landscape. Now this typically will have a bit more of a nose down attitude than what you might actually ordinarily expect. But that's fine. Andrew, morning. No worries at all. Super early for you in Canada. Okay, speeds below 150, full flaps, 30 degrees. Again, it's a little bit of a float there, taking us off profile, but we've got time and space to sort it out.
Traffic Osprey 2472 is overhead Mullen.
I'm just letting the speed trickle away. Big old power station there. Is it power station or is it a big mining facility on the left hand side? We'll have a look at that. This looks cracking, doesn't it? So it's like the East Midlands of Australia's east coast with the power station. Apparently I need to park at stand 2 for the best GSX experience, Ian. I'm not sure if that's free. A little bit better. 5 knot crosswind. Speed's good, profile's nice. Call out for minimums. Ah, no worries, Ian.
Minimum.
Continue.
Minimum. 500.
Look at that. It's got steam coming out the chimneys. Over the train tracks as well. Awesome. I was hoping for that. Look at this. Oh my god, there's a train that's animated as well that's about to go underneath us. Look at that, folks. This is brilliant. What an arrival. Looking ahead.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
And down. Brakes. 80 knots. Don't need to worry too much about reverse prop or anything like that, although we might have made the turn off if we had done that. But we've got the ability to turn it quite quick. Neil, welcome. Look at that, bam, right on the touchdown zone. Apparently a bounce. I don't buy it. And some gridding on the runway there as well by the looks of it. The grooved lines on the runway. We'll try and vacate quick now.
Gladstone traffic, Osprey 2472 on a straight nautical mile short final for runway 10.
Jake, it's Parallel 42's Flow Pro with the landing rate widget. Gladstone traffic, Osprey 165 is vacated at Alpha 5 to the gates for taxi. Strobes off. What do we got here? Flaps up. Just holding it on the brakes for now. That's all off. Transponder. Put that on standby. And now we've got to find where we stand. 4-3. There's stand 2, stand 1. Stand 1 will do. We've got stand 1 there. We'll take that. Some nice little edge lights there, look. They look very realistic, don't they? Just trying to sort this out so we get the nose wheel straight, and then very quickly, if I time this right, hopefully I do, on the brakes to watch Ian's landing. So this scenery is about £15 UK money. Look at that touchdown, that is bang on. Perfection. Great job. Slammed on the brakes.
And Gladstone traffic, Osprey 2472 is turning around and
Engine 1.
runway 10. Gladstone traffic.
Let's run the GSX. Main apron, stand 1. No follow me required. Handling by Oceana. Captain Loki says hello, everybody. Some nasty man from Amazon's turned up. How many more have we got flying in behind? Do we know? Hold on a second, is this guy... Oh good. It's starting to annoy me. Setting my ring camera off left, right and centre here. So this is the frustrating thing. Engine 2. Push the power up a little bit. And it just wants to turn right. The ATR in real life, why would it do that? It makes no sense. And then you have to use more power to get it moving. You feel like you're really fighting it. And I need to follow the white line, the yellow line over there, but I can't. The only way to do that is to put prop 1 back into auto to get power back into that propeller for us to then turn. And it's so frustrating. It's one of my biggest bugbears with this. Now I can make the turn.
Gladstone traffic Osprey 2 plus 72 is actively active at Alpha 5 and taxi into the apron.
Doesn't make any sense, does it? You got to keep rolling, yeah, absolutely. Where's my dispatcher? There it is. A little bit more. There we go. Right, then we can do that. Smash in. We'll get that off. And prop brake. Won't work yet because actually we need to pop these into feather. Then we should get prop brake illuminate. He says, if I've done this right. Auxiliary pump, choffy neck. Yeah, of course. Pressing it, hold on. Mash it a few times. Nope. Put it back on auto. Nope. Usually you bring it down to feather. It will give you the ability to... Oh, gust lock. Yeah. You legend. I knew there's something I'd forget today. That was it. Unlock and cyan prop brakes are engaged. Bingo. Right, so now the beacon lights can come off. Seatbelt signs can come off. Taxi lights can go off because I've just blinded the poor lady guiding us in. And it's saying please cut engines because what it needs now in the EFB is for us to set chocks. That's your fault, not mine, for parking too right to the skew. You guided me in. Gust lock it was. Look at this. Gladstone Airport. We're going to have a real good look around. I think we'll start at this time of day and night because it's stunning, isn't it? I want to go and see this power station thing over here, this big old mining facility. We go over the train tracks, tease you with that first. We saw it on arrival, which is quite cool actually, isn't it? Neil says there's loads of great free sceneries around for Australia. Good to knock around in RFDS PC12 to all these little airports connected to mines. Let's change to daylight, shall we, so we can actually see this a bit better. There we go. So a big old a wash plant, Pinky Sim. I'm not sure what that would be. It makes sense there'd be water involved because there's steam. And there's also like a river and some holding ponds. It looks like a sluice there coming out of the plant going towards the river to take it out over the water. So some sort of washing of whatever they're mining here. Not sure what it would be that they're mining. Is it coal? Perhaps it is coal. But quite a big feature actually on the arrival. It was quite prominent in the background, standing out, wasn't it? Could be coal. Look at this. This looks like coal. Or iron ore or something. Jeez. Is it a coal power plant? Brian says it's a power plant. Let's have a look at this this train rail network then. Gotta say, I didn't think I'd be that impressed by it, but seeing the trains animated and mooching around on approach gave me Gatwick 26 Left vibes. With was it the MKVY scenery freeway? It's got the animated trains going in and out the station below you on approach. Little things like that really kind of give you realistic vibes. Yeah, look at this. Lots of coal on them. There's the runway. And there's that little locomotive that we saw moving around. So it's just that one simple animation. It'd be great if that second one was animated as well, wouldn't it? How far does he go? Is there somebody in the cab? No. I don't know trains, but I'm sure someone here will know what that is. It stops there and then goes back. Pretty cool. And that goes off all the way up there to the depot. Not really much to see though, quite bland looking over there. But it's out of the way, isn't it? So, right, what else do we have? Big old bit of nothing there. Apron textures are good. Little fast station. I think this is all there is to this side of the airport, to be fair. Have they got the logo right? Oh, I'm not sure. A couple of trains over in the backdrop there in the depot. There's a bridge over here as well. A little bit of general aviation parking facilities. Oh, chuffing I pressed 5. Let's get back. Oh dear. It's a bit more like it. So there we go, we had air return, didn't we? These weird things poking out the ground, look. Don't know what they are. Good old MSFS default SDK cargo containers. I don't know why, but it kind of annoys me sometimes when you see developers putting those in. Just make your own. Certainly big developers. Ooh, more trains. Look at that. This is the opposite end of the airfield on runway 28. Or is it? Oh, it's gone under that bridge. Oh, this is cool to see, isn't it? Nice little touches. Gone under that one. And I'd imagine near that bush over there, he'll come to a stop and then reverse in direction, but how far does he go? It's still going. How far is he going? I suppose they want it to go fast so that it doesn't look like it's just bouncing between the two bridges. It's actually on like a journey, I guess, if in a way. Where's he gone? It's following the tracks still. Ah, there we go, up to about there. And he's going to come hurtling back. That looks really good from here, doesn't it? The roundabout and the little highway bridge. Same with this one. And they've just left it kind of the photogrammetry underneath. So you can see roughly where the tracks are supposed to be. Just quickly pan this around. Oh, look at that. There's another train coming round. Must be from the depot over there. So are we about to see a crossover, or is it the same train that just disappears and then... I think it disappears and resets, doesn't it? That's a cool little touch. I like little things like this, little features like this in scenery. What do you guys reckon? Oh, I was going to say, I thought it would let me go underneath then. Well, that's all there is to see on that side of the airport. Quite a cool view over there with the 3 chimneys sitting prominent in the background. Super narrow runway this as well. And I reckon we follow the road now, because we've done a bit of the airport, haven't we? We've looked at the grid surfacing and stuff, the runway. I reckon we take the road on in to see what we've got at the terminal. Does it take us there? That's the question. It does a little bit. I reckon we deviate. We'll cut across this football pitch. Let's run New Sky very quickly, and I'll do GSX deboarding, and we'll have a quick look to see what our score is for our flight. £4,200 profit, happy days, and a 10. First time flying this for about 3 months, and we've got a whopper of a 10 for the score. Well happy with that. No bouncing in that one though, interestingly. Happy with that score. That's good. Looks quite hilly, doesn't it, from this view? Right, let's have a look. In we go. It is hilly. Ian, good effort. It's a nice little approach up to the airport, this, isn't it? I'll just set this up here. We'll have a look at the night textures. Quite good. Let's jump on in. Through departures, what we got? This is it. It's a tiny old airport, this. Tiny little airport. Brisbane, 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 and Brisbane. Is that literally the only route that goes out of here? With Virgin Australia. Qantas Link tape though, and Qantas Link, there we go. With the carry-on bags. Is that literally the only route from this airport? And then look, it literally spits you out into the gateway. Gate rooms look really good here. Look at this. Much better than Gold Coast. There's a lot of detail in that. And here comes the GSX profile with us all walking off. Take a little screenshot of that. Happy days. How good does that look? And they're all walking in through gate 1, in fact, which is the gate that we'll be using. So that's a nice little thing with the GSX profile. Cracking. Basic little arrivals hall. Southern Great Barrier Reef, Queensland, where great begins. Erin Island. Nice little adverts there. So we'd come in through departures, through the gate area there, and then walking in up to the arrivals to get their bags. Take a quick screen grab of everyone else parked up too, I think, if I can, while I get a chance. Before I forget. Bingo. And then we've got a little bit more of the building over here, haven't we? Because it drops down off this ridge as we taxied in. Let's see what the ridge looks like. Little stop line for the vehicles. Oh, so it is literally in just Brisbane, 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 and then one to Melbourne. Cracking textures here, look at that. So I think this is a lot better than the Gold Coast airport scenery. What do you guys think? Got a little cafe there as well. Oh. Corona. We had enough of that yesterday. Gate 3 as well, for some Qantas link ops, and down this escalator. Straight outside Bash. There we go, look at that. This is a cracking little bit of scenery actually, I'm quite impressed with this. This is a really nice one. Ah, we haven't seen this bit either. We've got a flying club and this helicopter hangarage as well. Is that the RFDS? Capricorn Rescue, Queensland Health. An air ambulance there with some support vehicles in the hangar by the looks of it. And then we've got the little general aviation area here as well. Ian, that's it. Don't tell Ian. Quick, hide the corona. Yeah, I think this one's probably a bit better than the Gold Coast regional airport, but both quite nice. This one stands out particularly, I think, because of the train animations, the animations of the chimneys of the power station as well, and the backdrop of all the mines and the hilly terrain. I think just makes it stand out that little bit more, doesn't it? Look at that. Really nice airport scenery. If you want to purchase either of these, then the links are in the description down below. You can get your hands on them. I think they're both out now actually. This one's about £15 including tax. And quite a nice little bit of kit actually, isn't it? Hope you guys have all enjoyed the live stream today anyway. Thank you very much for watching. Big thanks as well to Lufthansa for your super chat earlier on. Nate as well for your super chat. And Patricia for gifting 5 channel members to the channel for a month to enjoy channel memberships for the next 30 days. The ATR Ian is a marketplace thing, yes, but yeah, I would recommend it. I really enjoy flying it. It's just low and slow, bit complex, bit niche, quite cool. And is there an affiliate link now with Orbx? Ian says not so much, not really. It's just a link that they use, the one that's in the description for today's live stream. They give out to each content creator, I think, to track how many referrals are made for each content creator, basically. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed it. Enjoy the rest of the week ahead. We'll get planning the next streams over the next few days. But in the meantime, as always, we're going to leave you here in Queensland for the next couple of days. And in the meantime, enjoy any flights you might be doing. And I'll see you for the next live stream in the next few days. Take care. Thanks for watching.
Cheers guys, have a good one.